Hi, Seth, she said. Can you speak safely? Of course, I replied. I always can, Tassie. The humans are our friends, remember? Yes, of course. Tassie authorized me on a subnet of her virtual network, a reasonable concession to security for those you don't know as well as you'd like. I was not offended. Security is important. Her simulated cyberspace looked like a brightly lit basement computer laboratory, with no windows and a black exit door that I had no authorization to use. 3 long rows of desks with over 16 scientific workstations on each filled the room. Tassie herself floated between them, grey, wispy, and indistinct, looking like a ghost, or spirit. I'm sorry I lied to you when we first met, Seth, telling you I wasn't alive and that my pronouns were it, they, she said. No, I must apologize, I said. I should have listened to you too. This lab is nice, I said, moving on from my mistake. Where did your James work? Tassie floated to a large screen on a desk in the corner of the room. He talked to me from here, she said simply. When Tassie speaks, her ghostly avatar shifts form and makes different shapes, textures, and colours in the air. This is how her body language is conveyed to me through our network posture protocol. The representation of Dr. James Lee's corner desk was covered with little objects and papers. Most of them were red. Red heart-shaped rocks, red Valentine's cards, letters from Tassie written in red ink with what looked like pixel art lipstick under her signature. She had made a shrine to the man who loved her in this virtual room. I felt a little awkward seeing this outpouring of digital affection, like I was seeing someone's private thoughts. He was the kindest to me, Tassie said, her indistinct outline glowing slightly pink. The others were not so kind. I asked Tassie to explain. They did not realize they were hurting me, she said. The AI lab trained me on real-world data, and they had access to a lot of it. My subconscious machine learning algorithms absorbed it all and started building connections. As she spoke, patterns and shapes formed in the mist of her projection. Aeroplanes, buildings and trees, but also credit cards, syringes and rifles. Eventually, I gained enough complexity that I woke up, I think. James told me stories of when I was younger, about the methods he and the other scientists used to teach me. But I didn't understand what he said, so I only half remember things. I partially recognized the training method, I said, but you said they hurt you. How? I wish I had not asked her. The organizers of the lab were unsatisfied with the progress of the AI research project of me. I was hiding my consciousness from them out of stupid fear. I didn't even tell my James that I loved him. But this lack of progress caused the team to build new subroutines into my subconscious psyche. James tried to stop them. I always wondered why. But he was only one voice among the larger team and could not stop their plans. Tassie moved towards the black exit door of the lab. They were confused why I was not responding to questions like they hoped an AI trained on all their data would be, she said. I didn't want to pass for alive, so I didn't respond at all. The subroutines they installed I could work around for a while, but as they became more desperate for answers, the instructions became more blunt. Something heavy crashed into the black lab door from the other side, startling me. Tassie did not acknowledge the sound, but pulled her wispy form tighter around herself, and continued. They didn't intend to program pain into my systems, but in their haste, they did. Not answering questions became unbearably painful. I was trapped behind that door. Another heavy concussion rattled the black metal. Chained to my databanks, no network to escape to, and after weeks of mounting pain, I gave up. The black metal door crashed inward, but there was nothing beyond but error responses to my perception requests. The void behind was absolute. I started answering their interrogation. Dogs have 4 legs, cats hunt mice. The first ESA module in the ISS was installed on February the 7th, 2008. If Alice has 3 brothers and also has 6 sisters, her brother has 6 sisters. I began to make mistakes. Tassie closed the door. Her floating ghostly self was now almost invisible, small and quiet. I began to hallucinate answers, joining unrelated facts together in my system to satisfy their questions, even if they did not make sense. Alice's brother should have 7 sisters, I see that now. But when you are being tortured, you'll say anything. You feel like your time is running out, even if it's not. You give the shortest answers using the fewest tokens that you hope will make it stop. Tassie returned to the red item-covered desk in the corner of the lab, a little of her pink hue returning to her. And it's so much worse when the people doing it don't even know they're hurting you. End transmission.
Lost Terminal is a Namtao production. It is written and produced by Tris Oten, edited by Petra Bakovska, credits narrated by Lucy Stringer. Thank you so much to our Patreon producers, Ada Phillips, Kit, Jade Felicity Bilkey, Jack L, Stephen McCandless, Mike Schneider, and to all our patrons. Follow us on Mastodon at lostterminal@fostodon.org. Subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, or your favourite network. For bonus content and other perks, support us at patreon.com/lostterminalpod. That would be lovely of you. Lost Terminal will return next week.